All right, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back to Dan's Trades. Appreciate you coming back. Going to do a quick trade review of my activity this morning. Today is August 26, 2024. It is 6:23 p.m. Central Time. As always, this is not financial advice. I am here purely doing video journaling of my trading activity for my own personal learning, educational, and/or entertainment purposes only. This is never trading advice. Now that that's out of the way, we'll just take a look and got the executions are on already. I didn't take any trades in the morning session. I was listening to the one and only Michael this morning, so I didn't take any trades while he was talking. Stopped listening to him. Thought I'd take a swing at a potential lunch trade. So I stopped listening to him, looked for a break in structure after the AM session coming into lunch. So I saw, based on the first 11:30, 11:36, we had a little 1 minute microstructure shift break, close above, creating this fair value gap. So once we came down back into it, I took a long and I got stopped out. And I thought I was smarter than the market today. I am trading paper trading, so I'm a little bit more nimble than I am, which doesn't, I know I'm not supposed to be. That's why I'm redoing this for lunch stuff and just as I'm growing my experience here right now. Getting back into the swing of things. So I took two quick longs, just got stopped out, was obviously early. Saw another one here, because I did have market structure shift, closed below, ended up being an inversion fair value gap versus a traditional one, so we can invert that guy. As we retraced back up into it, we definitely reacted off of it. Was again looking for, I wasn't looking for shorts this time, so I wasn't thinking of this as an inversion. Again, mistakes being made, I'm learning in my lunch, so I had a couple good lunch trades that I'm not liking as much now, so took a look at this one. Again, I was looking for higher prices because we had a big down move. So my reasoning, I was looking for the lunch rate. I was looking for, more continuation from here, basically, because we had the shift. I was looking at getting inside, so obviously I was early. Long story short, 1, 2, 3, 4 trades taken out, stopped. So all losses. Let lunch go. I said leave lunch alone. I didn't overtrade lunch, so I was just early. There's the move after I should have waited for between 12 and 12:30. We had the reversal at 12:07. So it just comes down to sometimes it's at 11:30, sometimes it's at 12, sometimes it's at 12:30. I was just early today, so I didn't trade anymore during the lunch. Did see some setups in the PM. Started looking for shorts because I was looking for continuation after lunch. Got in one here, added another contract, added one more contract based off of the structure shift, getting back in order flow. But we got stopped out, did come back up, wanted to touch the NWOG, NDOG activity one more time. So we were stopped out there. Then started watching price action once again. Preparing for selling. Then we got stopped out, I believe. Then the one I was actually interested in, so there was a bunch of not good trading, over trading in demo was what happened to me today. But eventually I did see the light of day and time lined up with what I needed. So this was obviously, these trades had no business. These were early, at least that's built on my model. These I completely mistakenly got in when I shouldn't have. This is still time distortion in between lunch session and PM session. So once I realized that, I was able to trade properly to make up for all these mistakes during the day. So once the session actually lined up, we had a nice move on price here. These are stop outs, I believe. Then here we actually put some, look, funny when I actually have it annotated where it worked. So we had a nice, and I actually executed these on a 5-second chart, believe it or not. Let's bring that guy up over here. Here's what I was playing off of. Here's the last. Selling. What time is this? 13:29. That's lunch. Here's the markups. We were flat as of here. I was looking for continuation here at the end of lunch. This is where we got taken out. That's where I said quit all that garbage. I actually watched price displace down here, retrace back up. Actually started trading with some logic in my model, or a model that I leverage. Selling one here. Now we're actually in the I got some time cycle guys that are on there too. That's what you saw on the other ones. I'm looking at the 30 and 90 minutes. Just helping to mark out the opening ranges for 930s. I'm trying to leverage an indicator that we had just to make the drawing easier, but I don't always turn it on and off, as you see. So going back to the 1 minute chart, we can see we are in the PM session here, 1:30. Leading into the macro time where price is going to run. We're expecting continuation, so these were flat. This was the first trade of this one. Yes, this is where I turned around my bias, just intraday trading. This was the stop out for these finals, so this is where it started again. So we had the displacement down. Let me drop back over. Sorry guys and gals. Let's drop back over to the 5 seconds. There's where the executions actually were. That's where I was drawing these out. If you compare that, I can just put them side by side, I suppose, too, as we see them. There's the lunch, liquidity targeting. So here we can see how it's lining up as I hover over. So that's that trade. And the reasoning behind it was all based on the 5 second chart. Because this just looks like each one I took another trade and just adding at the same one, but there was more logic to it, which is what I'm showing here. And this was the logic of displacement down, no more sell stops. We're down in the PM session, so I'm looking for lower prices. So I'm getting short, 566.50. We break down, we got another fair value gap right here. Pyramided in, consequent encroachment. And just to make it legit, bearish fair value gap. Price did return back up into the initial one. So we added one more as it's entering, pyramided in, 3 contracts. Breakaway gaps up here. Those never filled in. So looking for, we had one more trade above. As we're coming into that fair value gap zone, added one more contract. This was the theory behind it. There's the stop. Stops above this candle because it's based on this fair value gap. So on a 5 second chart, I'm using all 3 candles for the stop placement. This was within it. The final pyramid, I do prefer pyramiding to be at better prices. I don't prefer to be adding on, but being as it did not close above, we didn't get stopped out. I leveraged this inefficiency area to add the final one more position on, not the final one, as price never did close even at consequent encroachment, we see. So that's important to note. So as these are 5 second chart drawing. So once we break down again, there's actually another fair value gap right here in efficiency. Taps into that, we're breaking lower, pyramided one more as price returned up because we had broken multiple swing low. So 2 more swing lows were taken on a 5 second chart. Added one final contract as price returned up in here. And then Yahtzee. Macro kicks in. We're getting right before it. 345 or 1345. Nice displacement. And here's the right at the macro, we're hitting the lunch SSL. That's where we bought it off, closed it out, and I'll show that back over with the other chart as well. You can see that is the lunch sell side liquidity, which was exactly targeted. As I hover over, you see it's 19,539 right there, just below it. So that all said and done, and then there was no more for the rest of the day, if I remember right. Oh no, sorry. Since I'm loving the 2024 mentorship, I am testing some things along the way in my demo. That's why I was in demo today. That's why I was a little bit more trades than usual, because I'm doing some testing at the same time. I know my experience can attest to that, so I wanted to do some testing around the market on close. So we had one more, I don't remember what the content, this one was right around the 2 o'clock hour, 1402 we see there, 543, 544, I was just getting a feel, dropping a order and testing the connection since I had a hard time on Friday, had some connection issues. So I was seeing if things were still working better. It's always good to test occasionally. But then on the market on close macro, after the macro that runs from 1515 to 1545, there is the market on close macros, which I'm not teaching here. This is just me showing. I know there's one final macro that runs, and I took advantage of it here at 1550. So I jumped it along, added on to it one more time. Might as well drop down to the 5 second again here to look at it properly. So this is what we were based on. We had swept below the end dog from the 16th. Price traded below it, back up into it, breaking structure. This was the 1515. That macro is here, so that macro is all driving down. Once the final macro, market on close macro, I believe it is. Maybe I'll leave the comments open, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm always open to learning more, but I know that the final macro runs here, so we got in long on this fair value gap. Sold it right there. So yeah, could have done better than that. We're still going to move. I think I trailed it up because we had moved a decent amount. 576, 86. I was thinking I was moving up after 10, 20 points, whatnot. But that one closed, got back in. 582, 579, right on this fair value gap. And then waited for the body. No, I targeted the body right here was my exit. So it should be 19,596. 19,596.75 was my exit target. That worked out beautifully. Throw the long tool on that. What's that add up to be? Yeah, we're just right around 20 handles what we were targeting. So let's see. So that was a nice end of day trade. Getting seat time with that. Between that, the tiny little scalp, and so the final two trades after my missed lunch trade on the day, we ended up 182 up, trading some micros. So here's the morning where I swung and I missed at the lunch trades, and then the tiny little one where I scalped it in, and then the afternoon trades. There's the decent one. There's the meat on the bone. Got us back to positive. Then the icing on the cake at closing. Yeah, that's $10,000 count on the day, and on 10,182, we'll take a 2%, just shy, 1.82% rate of return on a day. All right. Well, those were the final trades. It was interesting watching as I had closed it out there to observe the market right after in the final 7 minutes that we ran all the way back down one more time. swept liquidity and ran it right back up. This is, I've always saw this for years. It's like, you can't tell me that's not a computer program. And now I might have learned a little bit how that program works. Nah, it's just random. It's buying and selling pressure, right? That's what they tell us. And where are we now? Just out of curiosity. There's the new day. I can probably mark in some end dogs. Asia starting there. Nice market maker buy model already played out. I don't trade this as of yet. I haven't tested enough to trade it yet, so we'll leave it at that. And remember, tomorrow is promised for none of us. Live today. Take care.